Hi, hope you're all having a great week. What I want to do with this video is briefly kind of frame what we're trying to accomplish in this first module this week, as well as introduce you to the Lake Forest Graduate School leadership model, which really frames the elements of leadership that you'll be learning about not just during the course of this course in effective leadership, but we'll be coming back and touching on these various facets of the leadership model during the course of your entire MBA program. Hey, but first let me frame this first week and this first module in some greater detail for you. First, this first module is really about orientation. We want to get you oriented to what you'll be learning, how we'll be engaging together, what kinds of assignments and exercises you'll be doing, how you'll be being graded by me, and also how you'll engage with me and each other in the process. So I hope you've all taken some time to take a look at Blackboard, understand more about those individual assignments. Obviously, I posted an earlier video that talked through the assignments and ways you'll be graded in the course as well, but also kind of taking a look at the flow of what you'll be doing in each of the modules. Secondarily, this week is about introduction, right? Us all getting a chance to begin to meet each other, and I appreciate those that have been able to post their initial introduction of themselves on the introduction discussion that we've started there. It really is helpful as we begin to bond as a team in a class together that we really begin to know more about each other, the backgrounds we have, and the value that we could all add to the discussion based upon our current and past business experience. Also framing this first module this week is around, as you can tell with much of the readings, is really about two core things. One is really about understanding some distinctions between management and leadership, both of which are extremely important, but also discern some of the differences between those, because what makes a really effective manager can be different from what will make others choose to follow a leader and make it for a very effective leader as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what all of you come up with in terms of your thoughts on what a leadership equation might look like. What are the elements of an equation if you were to design one? Also, secondarily, looking at your submissions in terms of exercise about maybe some attribute differences between what makes up a manager versus what makes up a leader. And we'll dialogue and have some good discussion about that on the discussion board as well as you post those your response, for example, to your leadership equation. Next, what we're trying to accomplish and begin to accomplish this week is really introduce you to the concept of self-awareness and the importance of that from a leadership perspective. And that's really a great transition for me. Talking about the second piece I really want to talk about on this video is introduce you to the Lake Forest leadership model. That leadership model is you'll see the formal leadership model diagram in the PowerPoint I've posted under Module 1, the slide deck there. But really the leadership model is broken up into 5 particular broad facets of what we at Lake Forest believe and have worked hard to collaborate together on. We believe the important facets of what makes up an effective leader and what they need to be able to do and be competent in. So self-awareness is one of those 5 components. And I'll be looking again forward to you describing back to me why you believe, based upon your readings and your own understanding, why you believe self-awareness is so essential to be an effective leader. And we'll talk more about that as we share in those discussions. Secondarily, the next facet these 5 facets in the Lake Forest leadership model, another facet is the facet of agility. What I'm talking about in terms of being an agile leader is really being able to see things from different perspectives, develop big picture ideas, and be able to drive change, especially in a world that's moving as quickly and as briskly, and in the competitive market that's moving as quickly, and customer desires and expectations changing so quickly has become so important from a leadership perspective. Innovation is another one of those facets. Not just the leader's ability to innovate, but the leader's ability to inspire innovation, creativity, assessing changes in customer expectations, involving and engaging people in your organization to help to see the things, sense what's going on in your markets and your channels and with your customers and with your competitors, and what you need to do to innovate and adapt to stay ahead of that. A 4th facet of the Lake Forest leadership model is strategic vision. We're talking about strategic vision from a leadership perspective here. We're talking about leading the creation and execution of a strategic vision. One is understanding, and we'll talk about the differences between vision, mission, and strategy, but the ability of a leader to improve the bottom line and improve results by having identify what a vision, mission, and then a strategy of how we're going to get there, and then managing towards the execution to deliver on that by engaging the organization from a leadership perspective. Lastly, the fifth facet of leadership that we'll be learning about in this course, as you will, all of these 5 facets will be reinforced in various courses throughout the MBA program, is the ability to engage others. One of the things we'll talk about in Module 3 a lot about is the fact that leadership is not something you can't demand people to follow you. Followership is a choice people make. The best leaders find ways to make people, to encourage and inspire people to make that choice to follow them. So engaging others as a core facet, the ability to actively identify, nurture talent, build effective teams, and productive working relationships with the people in the organization, and really inspire them to want to follow the direction that they're participating in with you as you move forward as a leader. So really, that's just, again, a very brief overview of the Lake Forest Graduate School leadership model. And as I said, the leadership model itself and our logo for that model is embedded in the presentation under Module 3 that I've posted. But just a brief introduction. And again, during the course of this 8 weeks together, we'll be talking about elements of each of those facets of leadership. And in other classes and courses in the MBA program, you'll be diving into them even much more depth than we will in this course as well. So keep going through the orientation process this week. Engage actively in the discussions, work hard on the exercises, and really think through things like the leadership equation and what you might decide and what you might believe, or what you're confident about is what would make up the components of what would be an equation if you were designing one as well as talking about differences between management and leadership. I look forward to you engaging on those topics, and I look forward to us together as a group really collaborating over that and really walking away with a good definition as we leave this week on generally what is leadership, and what are the core facets of it, and how does it distinguish itself from management. And as well, really importantly, beginning to get founded in this important element of why is self-awareness for a leader so important. We're going to get really digging at even more in Module 2 as you go through the debrief on your Hogan assessment, and really where you get a chance to begin to see how others see you through that assessment. So keep going, have a great week, and I'll be back to you again here shortly.